Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. It's currently a Sunday morning. I'm about to go to work in about a few hours here, but I have a pretty interesting story for you guys today, and I think you guys will really like it. So if you do like it, appreciate if you hit the subscribe and the like button, and let's get right into the video. So to put it into perspective, this was the summer before going into sophomore year, so it was in between freshman and sophomore year, and me and my friend were bored. And we're kind of just biking around. We had some extra vodka that we had, so it wasn't much, not enough to get us drunk or anything, but we just had a couple shots, so we were just kind of really bored, to be honest. We are just biking around trying to think of something to do, and we had these two girls on Snapchat that we were like kind of friends with in school, but like we would never like really hang out with them. But anywho, we were snapping them, and it was me and my buddy. Let's call my buddy Jared. And yes, this is the same Jared from other videos. Jared is a very interesting guy. But anyway, Jared was talking to one of the girls. We'll call the two girls Leah and Leah. Yeah, we'll just kind of give them the same name. Who cares? Because it doesn't really matter. One of the girls, it'll make sense later. But nevertheless, Leah and Leah were also bored. And we found out that Leah, number one, doesn't live far. And that's where they were. So we were like, hey, what are you guys up to? And they're like, we're just drinking. We have a full bottle. Do you guys want to come over? And we were like, of course. But me and Jared had to contemplate a little bit because we did have to bike there. I mean, it wasn't a far bike ride. It was probably a 30-minute bike ride. But honestly, we were like, is this even worth it? But we were so bored. We were just like, you know what? We're going to do it. Like, honestly, like we had nothing else to do. If we didn't do that, we'd probably just go and play some video games or something like that. And we didn't want to do that. So we were like, yeah, sure, we'll come over. And about 30 minutes later, we pack up some of our stuff. We bring some Mountain Dew because the girls, they just were drinking it, and for us personally, we did not want to do that, so we wanted to bring some Mountain Dew for a chaser or just like to mix it with or anything. So we brought that in a backpack. And the bike ride there, I don't really remember the bike ride there, to be honest. I think it wasn't that bad, but I do remember biking there and being a little sketched out because she lived in a little bit of a sketchy neighborhood, but it was fine. So we got to the park that was near there, and they're like, you know what, you guys stay there, we don't want to drink here. And it was during summertime, so it was pretty warm out. So we're like, cool, you guys will just meet us there, and we'll start drinking. And me and Jared were kind of just waiting, chilling on the swings, and we were having a great time. We're like, hey, this is going to be fun, We were about to have a night of nothing, and now it should be a fun night, getting drunk. We were a little bit worried about the bike ride home because we weren't sleeping there, and we obviously had to bike home. Yeah, and then we ended up seeing the girls coming, so we were like, cool. And we saw the beautiful bottle they had, and the first 10 minutes were honestly a little awkward because, as I said, we didn't really hang out with these girls much outside of our school. This is like the first time, so it was a little awkward for the first 10 minutes, but after we started drinking and whatnot, we started getting a little bit less awkward and a little bit more talkative, so that was really nice. And we were having a great time. And so Leah number 2 was Jared's girl, and the unfortunate thing for Jared is he was trying to get some action. He was trying to get some butt. But unfortunately, Leah number 2 the entire time was literally just on the street talking to her boyfriend, and we didn't know she had a boyfriend. So that was kind of crazy, but hey, Leah number 1 for me though was free game. That's why I say I'll just call them both Leah, because Leah number 2 wasn't really in the story much. She was just kind of talking, doing her own thing the whole time, and she's probably not going to be a rest of the part of the story time. So we were drinking for a little bit, and we were actually on the swings, and I talked to Leah number 1, and I was like, yo, like, let's go find a spot or something. I was feeling the drinks. I was feeling confident, so I was like, hey Leah, let's go find some place for us. And right as that happens, we see a car pulling up from the distance, and we didn't really think anything of it. We're just like, oh, what is somebody doing here? And then I looked closely, and I could slightly see the resemblance of the PO from like the police. How it says like police on the side of the police cars? Yeah, I saw that, and I noticed that, so I was like, guys, it's a cop, run. I start running. Nobody else believes me till about 5 seconds later when he starts turning his lights on, because he probably saw me running. And we all start running. We all start running, and this is my very first time being chased by the cops. So I was shitting my pants, dude, I tell you. But I was running through this huge field. So it was like the park and then a huge field. So I was just running through the field, trying to get somewhere else. And the cops, for whatever reason, since I was running first, they were just chasing me. But my friend Jared was following me for whatever reason. I don't know why he didn't go somewhere else, but he was behind me. And at the end of the field was somebody's like garage, like in like their driveway, but it was like disconnected from their house. So I went behind there, and behind me was like a 6 foot, a 6 foot tall wood fence, just like a normal fence. But they're kind of hard to climb. But nevertheless, I thought I was good until I see a fucking cop with a flashlight turn around the garage, and he saw me. We were probably 10 feet away from each other. So I immediately just run, and I hopped the fence, and literally the cop tried to hop the fence, but he was like, not to be like a dick, but he was kind of a fat fuck, so he couldn't. And so he couldn't. So I was good. But unfortunately for me, there was a second cop that pulled up, and I was running through the street, and he saw me because it went into another street, and that cop saw me. So that wasn't good. So I had to keep running through backyards, and I don't know how, but me and Jared, so Jared he went somewhere else after this, but nevertheless, me and Jared ended up meeting up somehow with like the luck of God, and we were like, oh, okay, bet, and we were gonna run together. And we were worried about our bikes because we kind of just left our bikes in the park, but we're like, if worse comes to worse, we just leave the bikes and we fucking walk home. Like, I'm not trying to have my parents know about this or anything just to get my bike back. So that was our plan, and we end up hiding behind some random other person's garage, and we were just waiting for like 30 minutes because we were so scared. As I said, this is our first time running from the cops, so we were so scared. And after 30 minutes, we're like, you know what, they're probably gone, we're gonna walk out. And we did. So we were walking back, and we saw Leah number 1, but where was Leah number 2? Well, as I said earlier, she was on the phone with her boyfriend on the street where the cops were. So they actually ended up getting her, and they called her parents. But luckily for us, she didn't know any of our parents or anything like that. But she was done for. They got her, and which was unfortunate because she wasn't even really there drinking. She was just kind of on the phone with her boyfriend, but I guess that's what she gets for going on a 2-man when she has a boyfriend. But nevertheless, we go back to Leah number 1's house, and we're like, just honestly really worried about Leah number 2. Like, where is she? But the cops just kind of had her on a street, just asking her questions, and like they're trying to interrogate her to get us to come. But they didn't, like, Leah number 2 didn't even have like me on Snapchat, so like I knew I was good, but Jared and Leah number 1 were. But I was in the clear. I was like, you know what? Worst comes to worst, I just leave. Like, sorry, Jared. Like, I don't mean to be a dick, but like, there's no point of getting me involved in this, and I don't have to. And then me and Jared, honestly, like, we were like, well, honestly, like, both of us don't really need to get involved. We could just leave right now. And we did. We were biking home, and then I wish this was the end of the story, but it wasn't. As I said, we still had a bike ride home. So we had to, unfortunately, bike across a busy street, and of course, a cop drives by, and I don't know if it's the same cop, but the cars look the exact same, and they saw us, and they turned their lights on, and we start biking. And the unfortunate thing for us is we were on a bridge, so there wasn't really anywhere we could go. But luckily for us, we were at the top of the bridge, and it was a pretty steep slope on the way down. So we were just going down, and we were honestly going pretty fast. We're probably going 30, 35 miles an hour on these bikes because of the downhill slopes. And when we get to the bottom, it's kind of free reign. Honestly, we were back in my neighborhood, and me and Jared also lives in this neighborhood, so we kind of just like scattered off into our different directions and then lost them pretty easily because we know the area very, very well. But yeah, no, it was great. And Jared was just like, you know what, I'm gonna go home. And I was like, yep, I was thinking the exact same thing. I think tonight's done for. And that's the story. So if you guys like the video, make sure to like and subscribe, and I'll see you guys later. Have a great day.